So, what are the impacts? We're going to serve fewer students. We will not have capacity. We will not have enough seats in the program that we can afford to run to serve approximately 1,000 students. Okay. Of all the positions I've been talking about, this includes the part-time faculty who would be without a job or be having less of a job, about 12% of our workforce. We're still running right around just under 1,000 employees. About 12% of our workforce will be impacted. Our hours of operation will have to be strategically scheduled. And we have to be really clear with our students and really clear with our public as to when we are in operation and when we're not, so that people don't walk on campus and suddenly find a door closed, a window closed, there's no communication. And we'll have to coordinate across campus, because somebody wants to come in and they want information from 3 different offices. What if one of them's closed and the other 2 are open? You know, what does that do? You know, if we end up in some kind of a furlough program, how will we manage furloughs? Will we have a furlough week where everybody shuts down? Or do we manage it on an individual basis? We don't know. We don't know how to go there yet. I can guarantee you that our work schedules and our work sites will be different. We won't necessarily be working here. You may be assigned here and there. And you may be working different hours. We will do that in order to accommodate the service to students and the service to our public. As I mentioned before, we've already started the consolidation and restructuring. Every time we have a change or a need, we will look very, very closely about, is this the way we want to do business? Is this the way we can afford to do business? Is there a better way to do business? And is this the time to make the change? And what we need from all of us is an attitude that we're in it together and we'll do whatever it takes to keep this place going and to keep us working and to keep us serving students and to get us through this time that isn't going to be a quick fix, but it will end. I assure you, this fiscal crisis will end. But it's not going to be tomorrow and it's not going to be next year. Community programs, which fall outside the core, will be 100% revenue funded. So don't tell me about, well, how come they're draining so much money of district money? They will not be draining any money from the district. Okay? It is a 100% fee-supported program. Okay? Each of us has to be aware of what's happening around us. If you are working in an office and you know that the office next door has just been impacted and people's jobs have changed or they've gone away or they've been reduced, I hope you will be sensitive to that change. And I hope you will be empathetic with that change. And I hope you will offer yourself and your services to support individuals around you, because we cannot operate in silos. That's why I love going to the North County campus, because everybody helps everybody. There are no walls. There are no feelings of, well, that's your job, and I do my job. The feeling there is that when there's work to be done, we do it. And I see that happening on this campus. But when you get bigger, you don't always get better. We sometimes forget that we're in this thing together, and we need to be sensitive and conscious about the impacts that are happening around us. As I mentioned before, we need to be really clear. We don't want to hold bad news away from our students. They need to deal with the reality also. Heaven knows they're going to feel the impact of less services, less often, less classes, the frustration of getting stuck in a system that isn't working. That student who's done everything, they've finished all their units, they've met all the requirements, but there are fewer doors that are opening for them at the next level. Or the job that they prepared for and that certificate they just got, the job went away. The industry closed. The business moved out of the area where they're stuck. And we have to look for ways to help each other. We can't be defensive. We can't say, I've got mine, I'm going to keep it. We have to look for ways to help each other. Otherwise, we will not be Cuesta College. We will be some other college. And the only reason I'm here today is because I deeply care about this college, and I deeply care about what we do and how we do it, and the excellent way in which we do it. And even though we have shrinking resources, we can never shrink our commitment to excellence and our commitment to be a family of support. It is something I can't tolerate, and it's something that is not acceptable to me. And I know this group, this workforce, has the amazing capacity to rise above what we're facing right now and make something really beautiful for the future. Because there will be a beautiful future if we can just hang in there and hang together long enough to keep this thing going. So now, where do we go? Okay. Let me talk a little bit about my personal schedule. As I say, timing is everything. This is not good timing. Okay. Sunday I leave for UCLA. I'm having hip revision surgery on Monday. I will take lots of medication. And I will be back in San Luis Obispo on Friday. I will be home during spring break. I will be back in the office on May 2nd when classes resume. During that time, I'll be finalizing the list of personnel actions, personnel impacts. I'll be working with human resources. I'll be working with the leadership of our employee groups so that they're apprised of the direction we're going. We'll be putting together a schedule so that during the week, a week and a half between May 2nd and May 9th, we'll set up a schedule of times to meet with impacted employees. And I will meet personally with every single employee whose position is impacted. And we will be very clear about what the impact is, what the opportunities are for those individuals if they're in a classified service, about bumping rights, about 39-month layoff rights, so that you're very clear about what your options are and what your opportunities are. So that week will be a really important week for all of us. I'm very sensitive to the fact that nobody wants to hear news, bad news, unless it's personal. And I will never deliver bad news through somebody else. I've seen it happen on this campus in the past, and I will not put that burden on anybody else. We'll finish up the contacts, the ones we can't complete during the week of May 2nd. And then on May 11th is the trustees meeting. It was originally scheduled for May 4th, but I asked the board to move the date so we'd have time to do that very important step, and that's to consult with and and talk with people in terms of what was going to the board. The board has the authority to not take my recommendation, because it is a recommendation. And I trust the board will look at it very seriously. They'll ask some really good questions, and then they'll take action. They'll support it, modify it. But whatever they do approve on May 11th, I have to take back and then work with Tony and her staff in putting together the tentative budget that we'll bring back on June 8th. And that's the time the board will approve the tentative budget. And the final budget gets approved in September. Okay. So that's where we are. That's the bad, and the ugly. Okay. And I've never seen a time like this in the history of Cuesta College. And I've been through every single one of the bad times. So I just want to let you know, because I didn't read about it. You know, it was real. But even in the not so bad times, anytime you impact a human being's work and their ability to earn wage, is probably the most difficult and devastating thing anybody can do. But we are a human-intensive industry. We are all about people. We serve people, and we serve people with people. So when we get into these kind of times, there's no way to avoid impacting people. They even say, well, it's only 12%. Well, if you were one of those persons in the 12%, it's not going to feel very good. People will feel devalued. They'll feel unappreciated. They'll be angry. And we all have to understand that. So I don't know if this is a time for questions or comments, but it is 3 o'clock, and I know there's going to be a meeting next door here, and I want to be mindful of that. If this is a time where we just go away and think, I don't know, what's your pleasure? If you want to email me ideas, suggestions, concerns, I'm open to all of that. I will have my BlackBerry at UCLA, and I do read it. Now this, again, this is posted. If your colleagues couldn't be here, please remind them that it is on tape, it is videoed, and the PowerPoint will be part of that availability. So, again, I want to thank you all for being here. This is really important for all of us, and there's no better way to hear it than hear it directly. And now I'm relying on you to be able to articulate the essence of what we talked about today, so people so we're not governed by rumor mill. That's one of the reasons why we wanted to have the recording of this available to anybody. So if you have concerns, if there's things pop up and you still have questions about it, you have other ideas, I've got time. Okay. So thank you all for being here today.